¿cómo estás? Espero que estés bien. Bienvenido del canal. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the channel. You're okay. I'm okay. Thank you for asking. Never. Lately, I've been opening myself up. God damn it. I've been trying out new stuff and reading a lot of new genres, which led me to discovering getting to know a lot of new books that I think are pretty neat. So I want you to know them because I think they're cool. So then you think they're cool because of course I'm like the coolest person ever. For you, of course. No, but seriously, lately I've been going and trying out new genres, trying out new authors, and I've come across some pretty cool fucking authors. And here are some of the books that I've read that I think are pretty freaking neat. Starting with Run on Red by author Noelle W. Ely. So sorry, I 100% butchered the name. Following two friends, Nora and Olivia, it starts off with them just driving in sort of a rural, borderline abandoned, borderline kind of really scary, borderline kind of really I don't want to drive in, it's just me and another bitch alone at like 2 a.m. or something road. And then everything is kind of off as they're driving to head to a bonfire party until they start noticing that a pair of very large truck headlights have been following them for the last, I don't fucking know, 30 minutes or something. And what first legit is basically the only thing that I can explain it is this is just a creepy dude that saw two girls alone driving in a borderline abandoned road again, and they thought they'd have some fun with them. They thought they'd scare the fuck out of them. They thought they'd creep them out a little bit, but it's all gonna be okay. And shit gets bad so quickly and so chaotically, and it keeps getting worse. It keeps getting badder. And all of a sudden you realize that this isn't just some freak accident, this is just some creep who's trying to creep the girls. Or even a person they know who's trying to freak them out as things get super serious and kind of gruesome super fast. And when you think it got as worse as it could have gotten, when it starts getting gory, when guns start flailing around, when knives start flailing around, it gets more. That's not a correct phrase. It gets badder. That's not a word. It gets worser. But no, though, when you think that, okay, I know what's happening now. I'm figured it out. It gets worser. Fuck, stop using that word. When you're trying to figure out so many questions as of who these people are, what do they want, why are they following them, have they made a mistake, what did these girls do, which one in this scenario is the bad guy. You don't know who to trust. You don't know if you can even trust the best friends that you're supposedly with. And while you're still trying to figure out all of that, the setting completely changes abruptly and we come face to face with a new terror and things escalate so freaking quickly. It had me pounding. Oh no. It had my heart pounding. It made me flip page after page after page. I loved it. Gonna love it too. If you're a fan of thrillers, you'll love it. Next up is a complete impromptu book. I've never heard of the author, I've never heard of the book, I've never come across it. I literally was scrolling down one of my book club read the thingy. I was scrolling down the feed of the book club and I saw a screenshot of the book, like a mini screenshot, and I was like, I'm gonna check it out. I don't know, it called to me. And that is Intercepts by author T.G. Pine, following the POV of Joe working at a facility that experiments on humans. You don't know if this is a government thingy, a military thingy. You don't know who's running the show. I mean, government, obviously. But you don't know who's the guy is, who Big Brother is, really. And it gives off like a realistic feeling that made me feel disgusted. So basically in this facility, they have a bunch of humans, people, you don't know where they come from, you don't know who they are, you don't know how they're getting them, you don't know anything about them, they don't have names, they barely have faces, recognizable faces, they don't have any identity, all shaved heads, all wearing the same robe, they have, what do you call them? Kitten mittens. They have kitten mittens. And this came about because in the 70s they discovered basically that if you have a person under a sensory deprivation thing for long enough, they will unlock certain powers that will aid the government and will aid the security of a certain country, or the country that discovered the thing. And so here we are now, torturing people. However, all of a sudden, Joe's personal life crumbles to pieces. And when his daughter comes to live with him, she starts having visions. And shortly after, that's gonna be a spoiler shit, his daughter Riley starts seeing a woman and starts having visions, hallucinations. You don't know if they're real or not. And you realize that his work followed him home. This was incredibly thrilling. It was kind of slow at first, still super interesting, but then it gets to a point where it's just a chaos. The ending of the book, the chaos, the last few chapters, and I mean the last 2, 3, 4 chapters, even like the finale of the book was so so chaotic. It was a mess. It was literally like listening to Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture. It just like everything is happening all at once. It was overwhelming, it was beautiful, and to get to that point, it was very, very, very thrilling, and it just made me flip pages after page after page after page, and I did not want to put it down. Next up is You've Lost a Lot of Blood by Eric LaRocca. They're so unique. The writing style of the character, how gruesome it is, how subversive it is, how it's not scared to push boundaries. I loved it so much. And it is like, this is gonna be so bad what I'm gonna say, but I don't give a fuck. Discovering this author and their books, it's like when people realize that I like horror and thriller stuff, and then they would just like recommend H.P. Lovecraft to me, and I read H.P. Lovecraft and I was super freaking disappointed. I don't like H.P. Lovecraft's writing, by the way. Not him as a person, not his writing. I find it annoying and confusing and whatever. And I felt like this is what H.P. Lovecraft would this is what H.P. Lovecraft was supposed to be like for me. I don't care. Why is this one my favorite though so far from the author? Because we start off the book following a POV of a sister and her younger brother driving to an opportunity to get like this dream job of hers. And then we go forward a little bit, and then we discover that this isn't the main story. This is a story within a story, and the main story is a life ender who's writing a story that we're also reading it. The book is split into 3 parts. Not in order, they keep coming on and off. One POV is the life ender, who's so freaking pretentious, but I liked him. The second POV is the story within the story called You've Lost a Lot of Blood that he's been working on. That is so interesting. I want to read the story like on its own. I want to read the fucking story on its own because it's so freaking cool. And then another POV is just excerpts, like poetry excerpts, not short stories, just poetry excerpts and parables and stuff like that. And I enjoyed those very, very much. They're very unique, very different from anything that I've ever read. The story within the story though was la crème de la crème. It was the cherry on top, baby. It was what made this book so fun to me. It's so freaking interesting. It gave me like an eerie sense that you would get from watching Bly Manor. It actually really reminds me of Bly Manor. We got the lesbian, we got the gardener, we got everything, and it really gave me the same feelings. And I loved the haunting of Bly Manor. So basically, when she gets to the castle mansion thingy, you don't know what's exactly happening, but there is an eerie, seedy feeling underneath. Like there's a layer underneath. Basically, she gets there and she meets the owner of the house, but she doesn't really meet him because he is all wrapped up. He's like a mummy thingy. And you don't know what happened to him. You don't know how he got there. You don't know what transpired before that. You don't know anything. You just don't know anything, and you're confused. It's extremely subversive. It's under the radar. It's an arch sense of humor, and it's very lowbrow. So she gets to the manor and she meets the receptionist or the helper. I don't know what to call her. I'm not a manor person. I'm just kidding. I do have a manor. I don't want you to feel bad. Anyways, and things are okay with a weird feeling because we meet this creator, the creator of a certain game, and she's hired to help the game coding, but there is just a weird feeling, and you don't know if the place itself is the weird thing, or the people in the place, or the creator of the game, or if the girl is just batshit insane. But then it gets worse, and I loved it. It's definitely a page turner, and it's definitely something you're gonna finish like this, and a book that will get you out of a reading slump. Next up is VeggieTales by Alice Finney. That was so insensitive. God, what is wrong with me? This is why I don't have any friends. This is why people abandon you. Last but not least is Sometimes I Lie by Alice Finney. Following the POV of Amber Reynolds, who gets into an accident and is in a vegetative state. So while everyone else thinks that she can't see, she can't hear them, she doesn't know what is happening. In her POV, she knows exactly what's happening and she can hear everything, which, as you can guess, is so freaking interesting. That alone is interesting. Now, this one, I was legit like half of it, and then a little bit further, I was like, this is so boring. Why is this hyped? Why is this hyped? And then, oh my god, this is good. Oh my god, what's that? And it kept giving me plot twist after plot twist after plot twist, and it ended up being 4.5 stars. Literally, like, it's not 5 because of how boring and slow it was at the beginning. And I know it was leading up to this, but it just made me want to DNF it so bad. At the end of the book, you don't know who the villain is. You don't know what is happening. I want to reread it again. Also, the half point that I left off is because the main POV is so fucking pathetic. Like, she says so many things that just, I want, like, oh my god. Like, every little bit she's like, I'm not like Claire, my sister. She's like better than me in everything. Oh my god, my hair looks so stupid, not like hers. Look at her skin. She's like so freaking beautiful. Unlike me. Oh my god, her nails all done. Unlike mine. And that's a lot. And of course, I get why she's like this, because of her childhood, which we will, discover with her. And it's just so good. It's so good. Trust me, it's so good. It's a lot to it, and I'm having difficulties to explain, and I don't have any notes because this is spontaneous, because I was a very spontaneous person. I'm not. I planned this. Not really though. I didn't write any notes, and I should have. I planned to make the video, and I got the idea last night, and then it was like, oh, I need to do notes. And then I didn't. And then it was 7 a.m. and I was like, oh no, I need to go to school. And I didn't do notes. Anyways. And now we're here, noteless and hopeless, and without knowing what we're gonna say. We follow 3 POVs. Her POV now in the coma while she is a beautiful vegetable, and a POV from a diary from 20 years ago. That freaking diary, I want to spoil so bad. I'm so bad, sorry. And a POV from before the accident, and just things start getting so chaotic, start getting so weird so fast, and you don't know who to trust, you don't know what happened, you don't know anything, and you just want to know and know and know and know and know. My finger was like this with my phone, like I wanted to flip page after page after page after page, especially. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you try the recommendations because they're very, very good. And if you don't, then at least I hope this was entertaining to you. I'll see you next video. I love you. Bye.